So today I'm going to be giving you my full review on Prada L'Homme, the original Eau de Toilette. So like I mentioned a few videos back, I'm trying to go through, look at my collection, look at some of the top popular men's fragrances that I somehow haven't done a review on yet, and well, I'm going to do reviews on all of those. Prada L'Homme is one of them. Yeah, I featured this a ton of times in videos, but yet I've never actually done a standalone review. I want this channel to be a tool for any of you guys out there who are looking to pick something up. I want to try to have as many standalone reviews for as many different fragrances as possible, so we're going to knock this one out today. I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on Prada L'Homme down below? And I'm going to be telling you my thoughts, how it smells, how it performs, when you can wear it, and ultimately, if I think it's worth picking up. Let's dive in. So Prada L'Homme, this one is known for being a soapy clean office fragrance with a prominent iris note. And we'll take a look at that note breakdown. We have neroli, black pepper, cardamom, and carrot seeds up top. We have iris, violet, geranium, and mate in the mid, and amber, cedarwood, patchouli, and sandalwood in the base. And so here's what you need to know. You get the iris, you get the neroli, you get a little bit of the black pepper up top, adding just a tiny bit of a spiciness, but not too much. You pick up on some of the violet, but mainly it's an iris neroli scent. Soapy clean, a bit floral. So this is not going to be of your traditional men's fragrance variety, being something that is extremely masculine in terms of having a strong woodiness or a whole bunch of blue ambroxan shower gel smell. It doesn't go down that road. Some people will say that this one maybe has a bit of a metrosexual lean to it, given the heavy iris note. Now, this is not an iris fragrance like Dior Homme Intense, for example, which is of the sweeter variety iris, and there's a bit more of a lip stickiness going on. The iris used in here is much more fresh, but it still does have an iris smell, and typically that will give off something that is a bit kind of powdery and maybe some would say to be a bit feminine smelling on its own. Now there's enough backbone in here with the sandalwood, the cedarwood, everything else playing out to kind of give it some masculine edges here. And of course the neroli, it's a floral note. There's some men's neroli floral fragrances out there that are also very popular, like Amouage, Reflection Man, for example, that sort of thing. But see, you'll also get kind of a similar crowd where people will say that Reflection Man is maybe a bit feminine. So it all depends on what you are into and what your nose enjoys, right? If you're someone who just doesn't like florals, then you're probably not going to be a fan of this. For me, I try to approach everything with an open mind, and I've always really enjoyed Prada L'Homme. You know, it's so soapy clean, it's so well put together, it's so polished that it's just hard for me not to enjoy. Now, I'm not saying that this one 100% blows me away, blows my mind like, wow, that's the most unique thing I've ever smelled, because it doesn't really quite have that going on. What it's doing here is it's kind of the best in the category of being a super wearable, super versatile, super clean office work scent. And to me, that's what this one's best for. Just going to work, going about your day-to-day life, your Monday through Friday gig, whatever that may be, that's what you would use Prada L'Homme for. It's hard to offend people with this one. It's not like a tobacco or an oud or, a strong sweet vanilla scent, but it's also not a super loud bubblegummy scent like Invictus. It's not a super playful blue fragrance like Dylan Blue or Aqua Atlantique. You see all those different varieties that I'm talking about. This one is separate from all of those, being that it has a refined, mature, polished, well put together smell. There's something about this one that smells high-end and luxurious without being a whole lot of money and without also being like super unique and hard to pull off. Let's go and take a look at the performance here. On my skin longevity, I'm usually pretty lucky to get about 8 hours or so. That's pretty solid given the nature of the scent being primarily floral, fresh, leaning, that sort of thing. 8 hours is good. Sometimes it'll be a little bit longer, maybe sometimes a bit shorter, but it's typically around in that range, which for me is more than acceptable. And especially for a fragrance like this that you may be wearing to school or to work, that's pretty good. Now, if you work, 12, 14-hour shifts, then you may have to reapply, or you may choose something different. There's not going to be an overabundance of fragrances that last 14, 12 hours consistently that you may be into. There are a few, but not to this level of clean, fresh smell. Typically those will be much more loud, maybe more immature, maybe more sweet, that sort of thing. So I think the performance here, all things considered, for a work scent is really good. And we'll touch on that projection too. It also fits in with the scent really well, being that it's not a room filler, it's not super loud, super strong. It'll stick closer to the skin. It'll leave just a nice pleasant bubble around you. One thing that I do find is that it does hang in the air. So at the beginning of the video, I sprayed it up in the air. Maybe I cut that out, or maybe you saw it, depending on if I messed up what I was saying when I was spraying it up in the air. But that was about 6 minutes ago, and I could still smell it actually very strong. I didn't spray it on me. It was just, up in the air. You guys possibly saw. And it's still here. And it does have a tendency to linger in the air for a long time. So if the lack of distance projection is concerning to you, do keep in mind that it does leave a trail. So if you're walking through your workplace, walking through the hallways at school, walking through a grocery store, whatever, you're not going to be pushing out a far distance while you're standing still, but as you move, it'll linger in the air and it'll stay in the air. People will be able to catch whiffs of that and they'll be able to trace it down to you. And you'll also get quite a few compliments, which leads me into the compliment factor. It's a great compliment getter. This was at the top of the fragrance game for a while in terms of hype. It was just being featured everywhere, talked about all over the place. And one of the main factors, one of the main contributing factors to that hype was the compliments, was the mass appeal. That's what people love. That's what people are into fragrances for. A lot of guys out there. Some of us care less than others, but when it comes down to it, the vast majority of people who are flooding into the fragrance community, new people every day, are coming to get compliments. And when this one has been working so well, it was helping push it up even more in terms of its hype. And so yeah, I'm here to say that I agree, it's a great compliment getter for sure. Again, it's really easy to get along with. There's not too much about it that you can dislike. Now, every woman, every guy has their own taste. If he or she is into a more masculine, traditionally masculine smelling fragrance, they may not like it as much, but I don't think that they would think that this smells bad. You're not going to smell like you haven't showered for 3 days or something, like maybe an oud fragrance. So I think it really strikes a nice balance of, if someone doesn't love it, they'll still at least think you smell clean and put together. And that's the goal here. But on the other hand of that, a lot of people will smell this and absolutely go crazy for it. So it's kind of the balance that you have to strike. In terms of when you can wear it, it can be anywhere from casual all the way up to very formal. It has a lot of range there. I would say going to be better for semi-formal to formal. Casual fragrances, of course, it would work, but I think there's some better ones out there at a cheaper price. But if you really love it and you just want to wear it while you're wearing a t-shirt and shorts in the summertime, you can go for it. And speaking of summertime, I think it can be worn all year around. Spring, summer, fall, winter. If you're in an indoor environment, it's going to work. If you work outside, for winter time, you may want to go with something a little bit heavier if you're worried about getting noticed outdoors when you're working. It just won't hold up as well, especially if it's really cold. But, during summertime, you may want to either limit your sprays or go with a light version like Water Splash or Prada L'Homme Low, something a bit fresher. But generally speaking, I think most people are going to be wearing this indoors as their signature scent throughout the year, and for that, absolutely perfect. All in all, it's a very good scent. The quality is fantastic, and Prada does a great job of creating fragrances like this, in this similar vein, just creating undeniably soapy, clean, and sexy fragrances for men. You can go over to Prada Amber and Prada Amber Pour Homme, Prada Amber Pour Homme, and Prada Amber Pour Homme Intense. I just said the same fragrance twice at first. Those two there, those are absolutely fantastic, maybe a bit more daring. You can go up to the Luna Rossa line, Luna Rossa Sport, even Carbon, although that's blue fragrance inspired. Those are fantastic. The point is they have a little bit of something for everybody. The Luna Rossas will be a little bit more affordable depending on what you get. Prada L'Homme will be a bit more expensive, so it depends on your budget, but I think this all around is a great scent, and I think it's a must-have. I think if you have a collection, you would benefit highly from having this one because it's just so versatile and it smells so good. You can do anything with it. Alrighty guys, I think that's it. I think I've covered everything on Prada L'Homme. Yeah, fantastic scent. Love it. I'm glad to have a review out there now so this can help some of you guys out. Prada L'Homme Intense. Discontinued. It's been confirmed. Unfortunately, that sucks. Unfortunately, I probably won't be reviewing that one, but now that I think about it, I think I reviewed that a long time ago from a sample. I think I did, back when my thumbnails were really bad and I was not very good at reviewing either. A few years back, I think I did, but the point is, you're not going to be seeing a review coming out after this on Prada L'Homme Intense, given the discontinuation. It's hard to get. I don't want to rub it in people's faces that they can't buy it anymore. Maybe I'll do one on Prada L'Homme Low, but we'll just have to see. I don't think that one's, you know, searched for as much, but whatever. I'm glad to cover this one, and I'll continue to cover some of the heavy hitters that I haven't already. Again, I want to hear from you. Let me know down below your thoughts on Prada loam, and I will link Prada loam along with its other flankers in the description to discounters so you can pick them up at a great price. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.